I'm glad that you're strong enough to share that. So I'm gonna share something with you. I myself, I don't know if you know this, but I was also sexually abused as a kid. Mine happened, I don't know if you know the story or not, but I ran away from home when I was 14, and I got lured into a place that, they put ketamine in a joint, and then they started injecting me with all kinds of stuff. They locked me in a closet and chained me to a post and then put me in another room. I was 14, and there was another boy in there, and he was about 11 or 12 years old, and they forced me to have sex with this kid over and over and over again while they filmed it.
Fucking
And,
animals, man.
and they tortured us, and they tortured us and tortured us and drugged us and tortured us to the point to where this boy had died, or I believe that he died, and because the dude was dragging him out, he had freed me to help him, and I couldn't do it because I was so woozy from this dope that this guy just shot right into my back, the night before, and I got away, but yeah, it's same as you, man. I'll tell you, and maybe you could probably relate to this, is afterwards, because I couldn't speak about it because my grandfather and father actually, and this is real talk, got some family justice on these people because the cops wouldn't do anything about it. This was 1988, I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't do counseling, nothing, man. And I started having sex with all these girls, man, like countless girls, like sometimes 2-3 times a day, different girls.
Yep.
And what I learned so many years later in my life, that I was going through so much confusion with all that, that I was trying to convince myself that I'm not gay. And I was trying to convince everybody, the people that knew my grandfather and father, that I was not gay as well. I'm not gay. I don't swing that way, but I was trying to convince them to make sure that they knew. And it seemed like no matter how many times I did it, it was never enough for me to completely erase that experience. Would you say that maybe you had a lot of those same feelings?
Yeah. You know, my grandfather is very, very old school, very, machista, Mexican, hard worker. And my dad is 100% that. My dad is, I've had over 10 stepmoms. So, I think my biggest thing was proving to my family that I was straight. And most of all, not even my family, man, myself, because for years I felt, I felt dirty. I felt disgusted with myself just to think, the things that he had done to me. And most of all, I felt really guilty, man, because I felt like I could have done more to like help my sisters, and when I was a kid, and he would get home and we were all there, I would always volunteer because I didn't want my sisters going through it. I knew they were going through it, but I tried to volunteer as much as I could so that way they wouldn't go through it. But now that I see my sisters and I, it fucked us up pretty bad, man. It's crazy because people don't realize that these fucking, I've been going to counseling since I was 9, 10 years old, and I had every red flag, man. My psychiatrist that's worked with me for years, I had every red flag, man, where when that amount of trauma happens to you, bro, you either become actually a child molester or you become a fucking serial killer. That's how bad the trauma was. And she always told me that she couldn't believe how big my heart was and how just the courage and the amount of how I had grown through the years, you know. So I used to hate God for everything that happened to me. I used to have a really big chip on my shoulder, but now I see why I went through that. you know, when you work with metal, it gets put through the flame. It gets the shit beaten out of it constantly to create something beautiful. And now I realize that everything I went through wasn't pretty. It wasn't nice. It shouldn't happen to nobody. But I have a purpose today, and my purpose is to go back into those trenches and pull guys out like me, because there's a million guys like us out there that have been through what we've been through, and they don't have nobody to be able to open up and cry, and it's okay to hold another man and tell him that you love him. There's nothing wrong with that if you're doing it for fucking care and you're actually helping somebody. So I have a purpose, JD, and that's what my purpose is.
Well, just so you know, I'd give you a big ass hug right now if I was there with you. I'll give you an air hug. All right? Give you an air hug, bro. You know, it's and that's what it's all about. I mean, just for those of you that are tuning in and watching this, you're looking at two gangsters. Whatever you may think about me or him, it doesn't matter, because we've been through the ringer in so many different ways that a lot of people would commit suicide, that would turn into a psychopath, that would turn into some kind of a weirdo. And man, it's just like you're hearing how real men speak. It's like we can express our emotions. My boy right here, I mean, he's breaking up and he's tearing up, and you know, I'm fighting it back myself, man. But I did an interview a little while back, man, where a man's mother was murdered while he was in prison, you know, and that one right there hit me hard, bro. But this one right here is another one. But you're not defined by the abuse, brother. You're defined by your ability to overcome all of that and do what you're doing now, because there's not many people that can do what you're doing.
It's been hard, man. It's been a roller coaster, but I'm glad I'm here. I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy that I get to walk into that prison and, you know, talk to these guys. You know, I'm waiting to get off of federal probation so I can start walking into these federal prisons where I've been at. The biggest thing that makes me happy now is when I get those phone calls from old enemies that they're like, "Holy shit, man, I seen you on YouTube. You're fucking, I'm so proud of you." Or like, you know, the homies, when I left Lompoc, and then a year later, I had already started my nonprofit and everything. A couple of the dudes that I knew there from Tortillas Flat sent me messages on Facebook, and they were like, "Dude, we thought you were just fucking crazy walking around that yard always talking about wrong and strong." And they're like, "You fucking did it." And I was like, I just, you know, I'm a dreamer, man. And I always tell people, if you ain't dreaming or you ain't laughing or you ain't crying, you ain't living, man. You ain't living, man.
Hey, let me just tell you, man, that I am like completely honored that you shared that whole thing with me, bro, because I mean, I could see it. I never knew that about you, to be honest. And I have a whole bunch more respect for you than I did before I started. I already had a lot of respect for you, bro, but I got a great deal more respect for you because, you know, it's like I told you, man. I remember, and I didn't even know, bro. I didn't even know, but I said, you know, we got some similarities, and now I know why. We got more in common than we actually thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, you walked around the yard dreaming about wrong to strong. I walked around the yard dreaming about stand for something life. And we put it into action, man. I mean, it's like you were saying earlier about the rocket ships. You know, some rocket ships take off, blast off, and they go far and fast, and they run out of gas. But some of those ones take a little longer, but they eventually get there. And I think that's what me and you were doing. It's like, I think, honestly, I believe that the universe and you know, the whatever you may want to call it, God or the divine presence or the all-seeing eye or whatever it is, I think it's pushing us there slower because me and you, we're the kind of guys that we got to have it all. We got to have it all fast because, you know, we slang dope, we robbed, we did all these things, gangbang, our immediate gratification that we wanted. So this is our test to find out if we're really patient.
This is our biggest test, JD.
Yeah.
This is our biggest test. Learning patience.
Yeah, you know, because it's just like, I think honestly, brother, I think if me and you, if we would have went like viral and just blew up and just bam exploded on the yeah, I think it probably would have crashed as hard. I think that's the problem that a lot of these big time people in Hollywood and stuff are having, why they have so many issues, is because they didn't anticipate they were going to blow up that quick, and now they can't handle it. It's overwhelming, you know. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. I'm happy, man. I'm happy with my life. I'm happy. You know, I get to do what I do, and the biggest, like I said, the biggest thing, and the more feeds my soul is when I talk to these guys that are getting ready to come home, because I tell them, first thing, don't get into a fucking relationship because you're not fucking ready. I know you want to. I know you want to stick your dick in something as soon as you get out, but trust me, if you wait and work on you and get your shit right. I was like, how are you going to have a girlfriend if you don't have a fucking job, you don't have nowhere to live, and you don't have a fucking car? Well, you going to pick her up on the bus?
Hey, did you see the video I dropped about that?
Yeah, I actually seen it, yeah.
Yeah. You know, and nobody disagrees with that. It's just like these dudes, and you've been there. How many of them dudes are running around like that? You know what I mean? Yeah, got me one off of Plenty of Fish. You know what I mean? Yes, you know what I mean? I'm going to be living at her house. I'm going to be sitting on the couch, just eating and shit, and she's just going to be bringing the – it's like, dude, you are like not even a man. You're not even a man in my eyes. You know, you might as well just – oh, man. And that shit used to irk me, and people would be like, stop hating. Don't hate. Why am I hating, man? I mean, it's not about hating. It's about despising the free lunch. And that's one of the rules in the 48 Laws of Power: despise the free lunch. To me, that's a free lunch. That's a weak person does that. Yeah. People that live off of the backbone of their wives, their girlfriends, their wives or their girlfriends' rich parents, their rich grandparents, and all of a sudden they're talking about, yeah, I'm a hustler, I'm a baller. No, you ain't. You want to know what a hustler is? A hustler is like somebody like you, JC, like me, like take Don King, for example. I mean, that man got out of prison for murder, right? He didn't have shit. You know, whatever you may say about Don King, it doesn't matter. You can't knock the hustle. That man is like, he blew up. Became one of the biggest boxing promoters in the world, you know?
But the thing is that if you live like that, you're still living as a predator. Yeah. You're still preying on the weak. You're still preying on all that stuff. And that's the thing, is that, you know, you have to be able to love yourself and make the changes in order to all that to fall into place. I tell people, with my wife, we were friends. Every single girl before that, I had a plan of attack. I had lust. I would look at their pictures and be like, hey, what's up, girl? Oh, what's up? Let's go out. It was completely everything opposite of what happened with me and my wife. Me and my wife, we became friends. She used to like be my wingman. She would tell me what to say, what not to say. And one day out of nowhere, I woke up and I was like, I think I love her. And it's so crazy because I didn't know what that feeling was, that I had to like, I looked it up. I Googled, what does love feel like? You know, and it's so crazy, man, because I told her, you know, I love you. And she was like, I love you too. And it was so beautiful, JD, that like, I tell people, man, when you're out there on dating sites, you're out there forcing it, all that, you're always going to end up in a bad position. It's with everything in life. When it's not forced and everything happens according to how it needs to happen, that's because it's meant to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, sometimes you just know. Like I try to tell people, like I said in that video, as a good rule of thumb, you may not want to consider dating while you're still on probation or parole, or you're in the beginning of probation or parole, maybe about a year, maybe 2 years down the road, maybe even 3 years. you might want to start doing it, but not right off the rip, because like you're still fresh out and your mind is fresh out, and everything's moving so fast that, you know, if you run smack dead into a brick wall and you crash, you're bringing this woman down with you, and potentially, like if you get mixed in with the wrong woman and she just becomes straight freaking weirdo psycho on you, and becomes so controlling and dominating and abusive, like verbally and shit, to where you're becoming abusive physically towards her. Next thing you know, you're back in jail explaining to the fellas why you're here again for a spousal abuse.
Yep.
Because they'll lock your ass up, man. I've seen, like I said in that video, man, this chick that I was with, she started punching herself in the face. She's straight uppercutting herself. Boom, boom. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, what are you doing? And then she's on the phone, and this parolee's punching me. He's hitting me. He's like, help, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. And I grabbed my shit and split, bro. I'm like, fuck this shit. You know what I mean? Crazy bitch. I'm out of here. You know? And I just learned, man. I learned that. But like you had that love moment. You had that, bam, you had that soul connection. You know, I have yet to experience that outside of, like I said, my wife, who she's been deceased for a very long time, but I've never been able to like rekindle that spark that I did with Liz. You know, when I met Liz, I knew I was in love with this woman, you know?
You'll find it, man. It'll come when the time is right, and you know, people don't realize that when you least expect it is when things happen, and especially when you're throwing all that good karma out, the good karma comes back in, you know, and that's what people don't realize, is you just have to be patient and just wait for your turn, you know, that your number will be called. And, you know, sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes, you know, it's fast, but, you know, we're good. We're good.
So, what are your plans for the future? We already talked about that low and slow ride. We slow riding into our futures, man. There's no rush, and I'm sure you believe that as well. There's no rush. What are you hoping to accomplish in the future with Wrong to Strong?
I'm flying out to Chicago August 1st. I'm gonna go look at some warehouses out there. My dream is to open up a Wrong to Strong facility with a gym and a halfway house, and provide a halfway house for the guys getting out of the state prisons there in Illinois, to start mentoring and creating a program with curriculum and everything for them to learn how to stay out and try to help the gang problem that's happening in Chicago right now. With pretty much right now, my biggest fan base, my biggest subscribers, my biggest family, I call it my Wrong to Strong, you know, familia. Súbanse la suburban. I always say that, you know, get in the suburban. They're mostly from Chicago, and I think it's where I need to go back. I need to go back, you know, to my home, to my roots, and do something. And that's the plan right now, man. I'm putting everything together right now, business plan, everything. I'm lucky enough to have some big people, politicians and stuff that are gonna back me up, and I'm just gonna try and change the fucking world, JD.
Hey, I'm right there with you, man. Like I said, you know, we're on the same page, bro, and I anticipate that me and you are going to be doing a lot of positive things together in the future, you know.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to see that happen for you, man. It's just like we're doing these things for the right reasons. You know, we may come off differently. You know, we may have different ways of getting it out there, but ultimately the goal is the same.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes us beautiful, bro. Everybody's different. Nobody has the same fucking fingerprint. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has just a different way of saying, you know, and I always tell people that's what makes us so unique, you know, as humans. It's that, you know, we're all gonna get there. We're traveling through different roads, you know.
You know, I'm gonna give you this little tip, man. and I'm gonna give it to you for free. All right. You were talking about that path, the traveling road that people go down to get into this country for a better life. And we talked about the remains that were along the road. Remember this little piece of conversation me and you had?
Yeah.
If you get enough funding and stuff like that and you get at these kids and they're bitching and complaining about how horrible they have it, that should be one of your paradigm shifting moments. Is you should take them out to that path and you should make them walk through there with sandals on, with limited water, with limited resources, and basically describe to them in detail what is everything that they're feeling. And I guarantee you, man, you're going to change some lives with that. You're going to change some lives with that, because the one thing that I've seen people do it on these Scared Straight programs where they'll have their little brother or something lay down and play dead in a morgue and say, look, that's like a defining moment for them. But I've always said it, man, if you take these kids righteously into a morgue, especially in a gang-infested neighborhood, and look at all these other kids that are in there with bullet holes in their head and limbs hanging off because they got shotgun blasts blowing them in half and all that. If they were to see that and smell all the smells, because I worked with the dead before. I used to work with the dead, not as a mortician, but I used to deliver the bodies to various places. So all the smells and everything, I still remember to this day what they smell like, different stages of decomposition, and the smells of the chemicals and all. But to take them in there, I guarantee you it's going to change their lives. Give you that one for free, bro. Just
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just
I gotta wait and see first if I can do it.
I could definitely do it, man. I mean, I think it's something that me and you should probably maybe do together one day, because I actually want to experience that. And I think a lot of these people that talk bad about illegal immigrants and stuff like that, I think every one of them should walk that walk and see how it feels. It's just like, people don't realize, man, that it's a much bigger world, and the picture's much bigger than the tunnel vision that we're shown through the media. It's
a 7-day walk from the border into Phoenix.
Yeah, man. I mean, you don't have to tell me, because I've been in the feds, and I've been in there with bices. I've had cellies that were bices, and they used to tell me about that walk.
Yeah. I think we should plan that out. We should do it one day, JD.
Yeah. Hey, I had this guy, he told me one time he went with some other people, and they lost all their water and everything, and they took a wrong turn. The one guy said, no, we got to walk this way. And he said, no, we got to walk, away from the sun. The sun rises in the east, and this dude sent him out walking east, deeper into that desert. And they said they found a pole that had a phone or something on it saying, call this number. You ever seen those poles?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people, they don't care no more about going to jail no more, because they feel like they're dying. So they're just like, fuck it. They throw up that white flag, you know what I mean? And for somebody that is spending so much money to try and make it to the United States, you know what I mean? Because they save up for years to try and get here. And to just throw the white flag up there like that, man, you got to be in a really bad position. But like I said, man, I want to do it one day, and I just want to experience it, because, I think it's part of my roots, how my family made it here. And just, I mean, we live in the greatest country, man. We honestly do, man. And the thing is that all these people want to complain about all this stuff, bro, but we live in a country where self-millionaires are born every day. And it's hard work. It's good old hard work. And I'll never forget, there was this guy that I knew. He was from somewhere in Saudi Arabia. This is when I was in Chicago, and I had my first job as a dishwasher. I was like 15 years old. And he would fall asleep putting in the dishes in the dishwasher, and I would receive them on the other side. And I used to always tell him, I'd be like, why are you always falling asleep? And he's like, oh, I have 3 jobs. And I was like, oh, you're stupid, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just working right now to save up for a pound of weed. Once I have a pound of weed, then I'm done. You know, I'm not working no more. And he always told me, he's like, that's just immediate gratification. You're just getting something right there, then you're going to need it again, or you're going to be arrested. You know, that man owns 3 liquor stores right now in downtown Chicago. 3 liquor stores. And he made an impact in my life that at the time I never thought, I didn't recognize it then. I recognize it now. Just like my grandfather, I see him at the retirement home. He's like 90, 91 years old now. And he always told me, you guys think that you guys are tough on that corner with that gun and selling drugs and all that shit. You know who the real tough man is? The guy that gets up every day and goes to work and provides for his family. And I respect that man so much, man. You know, he went to work for 63 years and never called in sick. You know, those are the ones that should be our heroes, not the ones on the street, bro.
Yeah, not these phony baloney ass people that, you know. Yeah, man. Not gonna get into that, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like people's choice of role models in this world is like bass backwards. They lead with, you know, I think you've heard me say it on my show, their optics, the optical illusion of everything. You see this guy and he, you know, he looks the part and you gravitate towards his looks and whatever it is, his mouthpiece, but in reality, he's a mess on the inside, you know? And the funny thing about when you get infected with a virus or you get infected or you develop cancer, for a long time, you don't feel it, bro. You don't feel it. But there's always something like negative that is hiding like the wolf in sheep's clothing that's hiding in the positive. You know, it's you have to be able to understand like somebody who conducts themselves the same way, like you were saying, in the light as well as in the dark. That person that conducts themselves like that, those are the people that I want to fuck with. I don't want to fuck with these people that are one way here and then another way over here. Yeah. You know, because to me, that's just like, I don't care what you say. You could say whatever you want, you know? It's just like having sex with the most beautiful woman in the world, you know what I mean? She's the most beautiful woman in the world and everything like that, and she looks good on camera, and she talks real good and everything like that, but she has a horrible yeast infection.
I guess that's a good way to look at it.
I mean, I got analogies for days, bro. If you're ever looking to make yourself a Wrong to Strong book of analogies, just come let me know, man. I'll give them to you free of charge.
I know. Oh shit.
Well, my brother, I won't take up too much more of your time, man. I just want to tell you, man, I love you to death, man.
Thank you. Me too, man.
You great, bro. I look forward to hearing more from you, and like if you ever wanna get with me or something like that, and I'll come on your channel as well. If like I said, I got a few ends to seal up myself. Once that happens, I mean, shit, man, I'll come into them prisons with you. We'll do it like a 2-man team. You know what I mean? Because I'm already seasoned for public speaking because I did RDAP. I know you've heard of RDAP. I did RDAP. I did an emotional intelligence program. We had like Toastmasters and public speaking classes and stuff, so I already know how to deliver the message.
I did all those programs too, JD.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, like I said, bro, like we could really do some heavy duty positive work to help people see the real and break free from all this BS. You know what I mean?
Those programs are actually really good. I like them a lot, actually.
Awesome. You got any closing words or anything you want to say at all as we close this out?
Just to tell everybody, you know, if you woke up today, it's never too late to make a change, man. If you woke up today, you still have today to change, and don't sit there and wonder what if, you know, dream big, because dreams do come true.
Awesome. And for any of you guys that don't know, this is JC from Wrong to Strong. You can check out his YouTube channel, Wrong to Strong. You can also find him Wrong to Strong on Instagram. I don't know, do you have a Facebook?
Everything's Wrong to Strong.
Wrong to strong all the way across the board, all the way to LinkedIn probably.
Yep.
There you go. Hey man, I just took a shot in the dark and got that one right. But yeah, check him out. I'm gonna be looking forward to seeing this wrong to strong thing grow, and man, I just wish you all the best. And with that one right there, you already know what it is, man. We're gonna close out in typical Prison Break Raw fashion. If you don't know the closeout model, you're gonna hear it now. Prison Break Raw, uncut, uncensored, no holds barred, not sugarcoated, not politically correct, all up in your face, slapping them with that. What are we slapping them with? What are we slapping them with, JC?
Wrong strong.
We're slapping them with that dick of reality as we're slapping them with. And we out.
Oh, you're true.